Hey everyone, and welcome to a special episode brought to you by AntilliesFan555. It is support like his which allows me to make these extra episodes. So if you would like to contribute as well and make the channel grow, check out my Patreon. I'll put the link in the description below. With that, let's get started. I'll be playing Victoria 2 as Bavaria, in which I will try to be as democratic as possible. But also to form Germany. So that is a tricky one. Let's get started. So first of all, I do want to get clergymen in both Franken and Bayern. Then I want to start researching, and let's start with positivism to get as many points as possible. That will get me more points based on my education. And yeah, that's what we'll be going for first then. Well, let's just talk about how we're going to do this. So the thing is that we're basically under control of Austria at the moment. Let's abuse that, but eventually we'll want to break away from them. Because what we need to do is Prussia needs to form the North German Federation first. And then secondly, after that, we basically need to beat the North German Federation to no longer be a great power status, and then we need to sphere them in order to become Germany ourselves. So that's a bit tricky, but that's basically the way we want to do it. So let's just start with Romanticism here. Another tree that is going to be very important is the political thought tree, which pretty much is important for plurality, which increases consciousness, and liberalism. So we want to do that as well, but I think the most important thing is to become a major power. I do want to get a couple of colonies, so I do want to start, taking Tunis, for example, with the help of Austria. Pretty much. I do need to start taxing everybody as much as possible for the moment. Look, if you want a democracy, you're gonna have to pay for it. That's just basically how it's gonna be. So let's just start with that. We don't really need a whole lot of administration, so let's keep that 50% because administration is most important for your tariffs and to make sure that they're effective. But because we're under Austrian boot, they're just going to take all our tariffs. So no thanks. Let's remove these guys and get... Let's wait for a bit here. So we have... these. We need access from Baden, but for now let's just build 4 more artillery over there. So we're not going to be able to get the Tunis ourselves anyway. We do need to... Saxony, huh? Yeah, Saxony is fine. Württemberg 2. Saxe-Weimar no, and Lucca no. They're too small. They're not too important. I think Saxon is just large enough, and Württemberg is usually pretty powerful actually, so they can help out. 3.7 is not bad. I'd like to keep my infamy as low as possible. So with an age of liberalism, there will be a lot of liberal activity. So there's a lot of consciousness coming, and militancy as well. All my people will become more liberal and gain a lot of consciousness. So that's exactly what we want. That's something that Prussia gets as well, and I'm not sure whether Austria also gets it. Probably not, but everybody except Württemberg will join, but I only need Austria anyway. Okay, let's also try to get Taza, because we'll have to wait a bit. We need another Diplo point, but yeah, Taza is very important because they will get precious metals, so we get a lot of money. A liberal students association. We can allow them to express their opinions or get the principal to do stuff. Well, of course, we're going to allow them to express their opinions. Come on. That's, like I said, we want to get a liberal democracy. So their free speech is very important in such a case. That's definitely what I think. So, wow. That's removed rather quickly. It's definitely not what I was looking for. Tuscany. Yeah, sure, Tuscany's big enough. That's fine. I have my Diplo point. Let's justify on Taza. Or Morocco in order to get Taza. It's going to be pretty important. I mean, look, even though we're playing as Bavaria, we should still be able to get some colonies over here. Even Germany got some colonies, so I think it's only fair that we historically are also going to look for some. And even though they're not the same that Germany got, I still think that we should try to at least get some. Military parade, unmatched glory. We're immediately number 12 is actually quite funny. Let's demand Taza. Would they join me? They would. Sweet. Okay, great. I'm sure they'll take it in due time, as long as Spain doesn't get Taza first. They usually go for that pretty quickly. So that's, you have to be fast. I would like to get Tlemcen as well, but we'll see whether... I don't want to overstimulate the Austrians here. You're at war with Germany already, with Prussia already. I would join your war. Why did you... Status quo. Did they... Why did they go to war? Oh, they intervened in the Dutch restoration of the order. Right. So the Dutch at the start actually get a casus belli on the Belgians, because Belgium was actually Dutch for like 15 years until 1932. So in this game, the Dutch can still restore order to Belgium, but the problem is Belgium is actually allied with the UK. And that's a bit of an issue, because the British don't really like a big Netherlands. No, we're fine. How are you doing, Austria? Not too bad. They almost have Tunis as well. That's good. This romanticism is taking pretty long. That's a lot of points, right? But as long as we get more prestige from that, that will be great. Ooh, okay, let's start up all these projects as much as possible. They still want a lot of cash. I guess cement factory is the cheapest. It's weird that I'm not allowed to invest into that anymore. Oh, prestige, okay. The Valhalla. Constructed between 1830 and 1842, the Valhalla is a hall of fame in Regensburg, Bavaria, housed in a neoclassical temple building overlooking the Danube. The brainchild of King Ludwig I, the hall commemorates famous personalities from German history, from Arminius to Copernicus. Nice. Let's immediately go after realism as well, so we'll get a bit more prestige. We do need to get away from the Austrians. Even though they're doing good work for us. That is only at the moment. In practice, I'm actually looking for their territory, like Bohemia. Okay, I think they will. I think they will still join us for Tlemcen with a bit of luck. Okay. Yeah, I need consciousness. That's actually good. I also need cash. All the projects already started. Okay. It's a shame they're already gone. I'd hope they'd stayed there for a little while longer. They somehow the AI is always manages to get military movement through all of these countries, which is pretty nice, but it makes no sense because I'm never able to do it. A street conspiracy. So they want to put an assault on some people. Coup d'etat preparations. We could curtail and regulate the right to assemble, but that's not what I want. I want to get more liberal in the upper house. So if we take a look, we see that we currently have 25.1 liberal in the upper house, which directly influences which reforms we get to take. Like at this moment, 31.56 of the upper house would vote yes to change the upper house political reform from appointed to 2 per state. That's about appointing seats. Now, I do want to get a lot of liberalism. I could also slip into anarchy to get more conservative, but that's definitely not what I want. So, when we take a look at it now, we can see that it's 32%. That's pretty nice. That means that we're a lot closer to pushing through the upper house what we want, basically. Okay, let's see if they actually join. They should join us, I think. Yeah. They honored it. Great. Let's suck up to Baden because I need military access. Oh, they would just accept. That's fine. Sweet. Then what do I need? I have 4 or 5 artillery. Then I need a hussar. Here. Excellent, excellent. Alright, that's going pretty smoothly. Do I have an alliance with you? I do, right? Yeah. I would like to have military access through Württemberg as well, actually. It's not super needed, but it's just convenient to be able to get through there. And I want the same actually with Austria. Luckily, I do have enough money in order to fight the pandemic influence, because that means it'll be a lot shorter, or well, somewhat shorter. We'll lose less people because of that. That's quite good. How are we on clergymen? Not well enough yet. Yeah, I actually would like an alliance with Baden. Do I have more projects? No, but I'd like to save up some cash. That's pretty decent. We're a secondary power so far. I kind of need Austria to send troops there. Number of commerce protests. So we can either have them become more liberal and gain consciousness, or have the capitalists gain militancy. We don't have a lot of capitalists, so I'd rather have everybody become more liberal and gain consciousness. Pandemic influence actually does give you consciousness. That's something. How are the liberal is down? Okay. So how are they in the upper house? It actually went down by quite a lot again. Yeah, so people are not actually all that liberal just about yet. I'm trying, but that will take a bit of time, and since I'm currently working on prestige in order to okay, finally they did drop some in order to get a great power status. That liberalism will have to wait, but we'll be getting there. We'll be getting there. So as soon as Saxony gets into Germany's sphere, I think they can form the North German Federation. I'm basically always choosing the option which gives me the most consciousness. No. Revolutionaries. Yep. I also want to get into an alliance with France if we can. At least I want to increase the relations for now. There are a lot of parties which I would like to get better relations with. And France is definitely one of them. So let's not waste any of those diplo points. For sure. Okay, we got a lot of money, but in order to, for example, upgrade luxury clothes factory, we also need a lot of cash. It's a very... let's see. No, I don't want to suppress them. I'm gonna get them more consciousness indeed. How are they doing now? 24%. Well. Let's create a couple of units in Africa together with some fleet. We don't actually have that much oh, okay, that's nice. Mozart's Festival. Celebrate that, huh? How are we doing there now? Okay, we got this. Bavarian Africa. That's gorgeous. I like that very much. Okay, so they're becoming a bit more liberal. Let's see. A squalid slum. We can either gain 5 liberal in the upper house and then gain consciousness. We can have them be more in favor of trinket healthcare. Probably a parliamentary investigation is the best in order to become more liberal here. Also because it gives them a lot of consciousness. I think that's probably the way to do it here. Number 8. Can we upgrade one of the factories? I generally upgrade factories if more than 40% is... if it operates at more than 40% capacity. Let's see. It's good to see the classics receiving some attention. Socratic dialogues, anyone? Classics are rediscovered. Nice. I'm not going to read all of these out loud because it takes very long. And like I said, I will read which of these options I will choose for each event. Let's actually switch, because even though we could get clergymen to 4, that is quite unlikely. Yeah, let's get them in Franken. So this is Rhineland. We should be entitled to more Rhineland. That's what I think. Okay, we got more prestige, so let's go for idealism for more research points, which opens up in 1840, and then afterwards we're going to work on some political thoughts to become a bit more liberal here. This is working up quite nicely. 25%, and we have 31.2 there. Okay, okay. It's looking pretty good. Pretty good. I'm sure I will pretty soon be able to... Oh yeah, Hanover is actually pretty big. I can join with Hanover. That does reduce the chance of me getting smacked by either Germany or Austria. Which usually doesn't even happen all that quickly, actually. Because Bavaria is pretty big. Yeah. And they're marginally powerful. Actually, they're the biggest of the smaller states. Let's make sure that the beliefs are respected. That will also give them more consciousness. I would expect to be able to see the first few reforms quite quickly. Yeah, see that's pretty good. Already up to 40%. There we go. So even if we change this to 4.3, I usually choose the one which most people want, which reform people really want. So in this case, for example, people really want to have censored press instead of state press only. And that increases their political awareness. And I believe that political awareness allows them to vote more according to what they choose. So it might be that even liberal people will vote for conservative. But with more political awareness, they are more likely to vote in alignment with their ideology. So that's pretty decent. Let's see, this is 0.4 and voting only landed is 4.3. So I would go for censored press here because most people want that. The press is then allowed a relative amount of freedom, but it's still censored by the government instead of only state government. All right, there we go. That indeed lowers consciousness by quite a bit, but that means that we are on our way. And let's get that extra prestige there to becoming more liberal. That is great. And no, these blights, they're terrible. I can either lose prestige and have it shorter. I never got why you lose prestige for helping your farmers. That is so weird. How many points do we need anyway to become a major power here? Let's take a look. 69.82. That's a huge difference. This closed factory is not really moving up that quickly, but we are getting consciousness at an insane rate. Alright, so insurrection. Let's negotiate with the leaders. And how are we doing with France? 116. It's taking a bit of time before we get aligned with them, but that's okay. We are still under Austrian boot. They actually kicked out their embassy. Wow. Then they are heavily fighting for Bavaria here. That makes sense. I want to have as low infamy as possible, actually. Because I don't think it fits a liberal democracy to have too much infamy. If half the world hates us, that's just no good. No thanks. So yeah, I guess for the moment there's just not a whole lot we can do. Technically, when Austria, they might attack Prussia, but I don't think they would win. Maybe with help of Spain. Do they have... Yeah, they have Sweden and the Netherlands. That'd be interesting to see, but I'm gonna go for ideological thought. I need to get on the path to democracy, yeah. I would normally choose these paths first, but because I want to be more liberal, faster, that's definitely what I'm gonna choose. There we go. Ideological thought. What these do, they give you a lot of pluralism and political reform desire and stuff like that. And plurality increases consciousness. So, yeah. Why not? These are not looking too hot, but let's just keep them for now. Let's get these guys together. We can build more fleets, but alright, we can actually build some naval bases. Let's do that. It costs a lot of money, but it's still worth it, I think. Generally, to actually start getting a fleet regardless, even if it's a small one. Didn't we just get the Valhalla? Then we already did that. That's really weird. Oh, I forgot one. Let's go back. And I do need to keep using those diplo points. Let's actually send some to Russia as well. Get them that way. Why not? It's not wasted anyway on Russia, since I would not mind an alliance with Russia either. So that would be pretty good. Let's get in there. Send them out there. Bam, bam, bam. There we go. Can we upgrade one of these factories? Are they over 40%? No, they aren't. Alright, that's fine. If only they'd start another project, but currently, according to my own rules, I can't do anything yet. We're quite soon coming up for another political change. So we'll see what that entails. 79 to 85, so we're closing in on them actually. Which is pretty good. Quite happy with that. Like, becoming major power is pretty useful here. Because we'll immediately get rid of Austria. So I think... Yeah, these other countries, they're getting smacked pretty hard by them. So it would take quite a bit of time before I would be able to get rid of them. I'm really not sure whether I can get an alliance with France, but that would be the best. Let's go for state and government. Yeah, indeed. Again, gives me plurality, social reform desire. That's exactly what I need in order to become an actual democracy. So 41.2 is liberal there. I'm quite sure they would allow us. No, they would not. So the upper house is not liberal enough yet to push through these reforms. They're quite close, but not exactly. We're getting close to the point where we actually would need to, technically need to invade something again. No. And I could technically go for Egypt and Suez. Let's try that. I think that's probably a pretty good idea. Let Austria handle it and then get the Suez Canal. Because why not? And we're pretty low on infamy anyway. So I think that that's working out quite well. Ideally, I will keep it below 10. But if I can take a good chunk out of Austria, for example, then I might go over it. Seems like Prussia is about to attack, though. Okay, let's also get Baden and Württemberg and Tuscany in it. I want Sinai. So let's get Tuscany, Baden, Württemberg. Yes, yes, yes. And then Austria. And I think they're also more likely to accept. Now, what's even better is that I actually did not lose any infamy there, so I'm actually on my way to... they're so close. Let's see if they do want the reforms, though. No, not that. Let's see, for example, this 49.51, so they're really close to getting another reform through. There we are. What do the people want most? 8.16 want to change the laws from no voting at all to only the rich get the vote, or the aristocrats and capitalists. Not too many want free press. State-controlled trade unions is not something they worry about, just like political parties. The government actively prevents other parties from publicly campaigning for votes. That's terrible, but at least we'll be able to currently allow aristocrats and capitalists to vote instead of absolutely nothing, so that's good. I think that should change this also from a monarchy to a constitutional monarchy. Anti-Jacobin tract? Okay, there's a lot of consciousness. Or it's... oh, it's going down, okay. Yeah, it's a limited constitutionalism now instead of a monarchy. The political reforms enacted in the past few years have led to a situation where the absolutism of our monarchy can now legitimately called into question. No longer is the king free to dictate the course of the nation to his own musings, but instead he has to accept several constitutional hemps and restrictions on his exercise of power. For these reasons, our government form is no longer most accurately described as an absolute monarchy. Indeed, because there are now actually people who get to vote on the upper... or on the parties, basically. So, yeah. Voter ideology is 46% is liberal. Well, in practice, only 30% is. But, well, we'll see how that goes. So, desperately trying to get that consciousness up again. Sure, we're definitely patriots. So... I could either attack something else, or I could take additional territory in Egypt for an additional 5 infamy. I think, although I don't get any war score myself, so I might actually not be able to get that. Probably not, no. Let's see, liberal author, we either get middle strata 3% more liberal, or people in Taza. No. Such a voice must be heard in all of Bavaria. Yeah, that Wargle is, yeah, that's not going up, that's fine. I'm gonna have to choose something else to get besides Egypt. Could get another piece of Morocco. That would probably mean the Morocco region. Because the El Reef, they have wheat, or wheat, fish. And this is more people as well. So like, what else am I gonna get? There's not really a whole lot with which the Austrians can actually help me. As far as I'm aware, this is all owned by France. And I'm not gonna conquer Algeria. Not gonna send in the troops. So maybe if I win this attack, we'll see how that goes. Let's see. The Liberal Party wants free trade, so I think we should also choose free trade. Okay, so we did win that, but it's not enough. No. Oh, they're also at war with the Ottomans. That's problematic for them. Okay, let's see. Underground printing press. We're just gonna let it operate. Harassed parties is fine. Bitter rain. Rain will fall sooner or later. Liberal Democrats got 5% of the votes, whereas the Conservatives got 94 still. Can you imagine how crazy that is? How, like I said, people are a lot more liberal, but they still choose to vote Conservative by a gargantuan amount. So, yeah. So let's see. Well, there's nothing we can do about it, I suppose. Just have to sit that out. Herald. A new daily has begun circulating in. The Herald, carrying hard-hitting political commentary, has quickly developed into a flagship for local liberal politics. Well, let's get that consciousness up. Definitely, so we can continue putting in these reforms. Alright, once state and government is done... Ooh, we're number 8 now. We'll be a great power. That is very good. Okay, let's take a look at the research though. So now that we've done state and government, that's probably a fine point to start social thought at this point. Since we've done all the very important ones that I wanted to do anyway. And we can't do stuff like nationalism and imperialism yet. Although that still is mostly about war, but state and government is very important for political reforms anyway. So let's start on positivism at this point. We also have a lot of industry text that we need to do and things like that, so yeah, we'll be quite busy. We do have a lot of points, so that's actually pretty nice. I'm sure we'll get Suez soon, and the Ottomans are also trashing Egypt, so yeah, that will be fine. Yeah, and I'm gonna leave it at that. I want to thank everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, or help me out on Patreon, for which the link is in the description below. I want to give special thanks to my Patreon supporters, Tomislav Trin and Tilly's Fan 555. Thanks for watching. Take care. See you next time. Bye-bye.